In September 2018, Peg and I, along with our friend Aki, traveled on the newly launched Viking Orion cruise ship, making its maiden voyage out of the Mediterranean on a cruise entitled Passage to India. During the journey, we visited Athens, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Oman, and ended our cruise in Mumbai, India. We then continued on a 5-day land excursion visiting Jaipur, Agra, and Delhi. It was an extraordinary opportunity to learn about the culture, religion, history, and architecture of these diverse countries, along with a chance to glimpse the day-to-day life of the people. Our trip begins in the port city of Piraeus, Greece, where we board our ship and take a walk around the deck to get a panoramic view of the city. My attention was drawn to the Temple of the Holy Trinity of Piraeus. I learned that it was one of the finest examples of Byzantine-style churches in Greece. Built in 1839, it was destroyed during World War II and was faithfully rebuilt. The next morning, we were on a bus from Piraeus to Athens for a quick tour of the city and a visit to the Acropolis Museum. We learned that the financial crisis in Greece has had many consequences. One is that the port of Piraeus has been sold to China. Another is that while there are many well-kept homes and apartments, some are becoming run down and abandoned because the younger generation can't afford the taxes or the cost of maintaining them. Our first stop was the Panathenaic Stadium. In the 6th century BC, this was the site of the Panathenaic Games, which was a religious and athletic festival celebrated every 4 years in honor of the goddess Athena. It was abandoned in the 4th century AD, but the site was excavated and refurbished in 1869. In 1896, it hosted the first modern Olympic Games. It has a capacity of 60,000 and is still used for various purposes, including the 2004 Olympics. From the stadium, we can see St. George's Chapel on Mount Lycabettus. It is the highest point in Athens and provides an excellent view of the city. The present chapel was renovated by a monk, Emmanuel Boulodicus, in 1834 and has become a popular tourist site. The next stop was at the Hellenic Parliament building, where the tomb of the unknown soldier is located. It is protected by the Evazone Honor Guard, which changes every hour and consists of 2 soldiers. They wear highly decorative uniforms, reflecting cultural pride and battles fought throughout Greece's modern history. The uniforms take months to produce and include a silk-tasseled cap and pleated skirt which contains 400 folds representing the 400 years of Ottoman occupation. Their unique, deliberate marching style is in part to compensate for the fact that they have stood at attention for an hour. Our final stop of the day is at the Acropolis Museum. This museum was constructed on pillars because it sits over an extensive archaeological site. An ancient town site can be seen below from the entrance and through glass panels in the floor. The museum was completed in 2009 and holds 9,000 objects from the Bronze Age to the Roman and Byzantine era. The Acropolis is a rocky plateau above the city of Athens that contains the remains of several ancient buildings of great architectural and historic significance, the most famous being the Parthenon. A model in the museum shows how the area would have looked in the 5th century BC, with the Temple of Erechtheion completed and the Parthenon being constructed. In the Golden Age of Greece in the 2nd century BC, the site was fully developed, with numerous temples to Athena, Zeus, Hercules, and others, as well as an amphitheater and other facilities at the base of the rock. The Acropolis dominated the city of Athens at that time. The final model shows the site in the 3rd century AD. Athens is part of the Roman Empire, and many of the temples have been destroyed and removed. The first floor of the museum contains artifacts from the base of the Acropolis and nearby settlements. These give a picture of public and private life during this period. The second level features finds from the Archaic period to the Roman Empire. There are many freestanding sculptures, with the most prominent being the statues of the maidens of the Erechtheion, known as the Archaeadids. The present Erechtheion temple has exact replicas supporting the roof. The originals on display in the museum leave an empty spot for the one statue that was stolen by Lord Elgin in 1800 to decorate his Scottish mansion, and it now resides in the British Museum. Each statue has a different expression, with different hair, stance, and draping. The hair is full and extends down over the shoulders to provide greater thickness in the neck area to support the weight of the roof. The third level features reproductions of the frieze that surrounded the Pantheon and the pediments that were located at both ends. The reproduction from the pediment from the east side of the Pantheon shows the birth of the goddess Athena. In the mythical story, the head of the god Zeus was split open and Athena came from his mind. The copy of the western pediment shows the battle between Athena and Poseidon. Athena won the battle, and as a result the city was named Athens. From the third level, there's an unobstructed view of the Acropolis and Parthenon. The Parthenon was built as a temple to Athena and was completed in 438 BC, having taken 9 years to build. It was made from 16,500 perfectly joined pieces of white marble. The Parthenon that we see today is only a shell of the magnificent work of art and architecture that it had once been. The roof burned off in 267 AD, and the early Christians destroyed and defaced the statues. It was converted by the Christians into the Church of the Holy Virgin, and later into a mosque by the Ottomans. In the campaign of Franco-Moor line in 1687, it was heavily bombed, and since then has been systematically looted. Despite this, the Greeks deserve tremendous credit for their recent efforts to preserve this architectural masterpiece. One last look at the Acropolis, and then we head back to our ship.